Okay, so in the last session we tested miscellaneous receipt, how to create the miscellaneous receipt. And to create the miscellaneous receipt, what are the transaction types we required? If you want to define, how to define, we have seen. Okay, that's same like creating inventory transaction types we tested. And by using the same transaction types also we created miscellaneous receipt as well as miscellaneous issue. And we created movement request. Again, within the movement request we have two transaction types. One is movement request transfer, other one is movement request issue. When I talk about transfer, moving the material from one sub-inventory to another sub-inventory by following some sort of authorization process where someone will raise the request and it has to be approved, and other side we have to generate the report. Here this is what this is nothing but we run the we have to run, we submit a report called as movement request tick slip report, right? So what it will do, it will do the allocation. That means just it will create the instruction and it will generate the report against that instruction. In the sense, so from which sub inventories we are going to pick the material to move to destination sub inventory. If you specify, the same system will be showing as instruction. If you don't specify sub inventory, automatically system can allocate the material, and the same it will show as a report, and we confirm the picking. Finally we verified on hand quantity. So this is all about transfer. The movement request we tested transfer. When you talk about issue, we have miscellaneous issue. In case of miscellaneous issue, we are issuing the material from inventory to some project or any other department or individuals. The same process if you want to do by following this sort of raising the request to issue that material and processing the allocation and generating the reports and performing the confirmation for the issue which you are going to do. So we can do through movement request issue. It's very simple. The difference between miscellaneous issue and movement request is miscellaneous issue will do as a just with a single action will perform the issue, that's all. From which sub inventory, from which account we are going to reduce the balances by issuing. But here in case of movement request, we will follow certain process, raising the request and allocation and generating the report and confirming the same. So in various steps we execute this sort of process that we call as movement request issue. We'll see the same process how we can execute in the system. This you can call it as transfer. Within the movement request we have movement request transfer, movement request issue. We tested transfer. Now we'll test movement request issue. So for this process also we have to, for this movement request issue also we have to follow the same process. But we are not going to specify any destination inventory. Reason, we are not going to move the material within our inventory organization. From our inventory organization we are going to issue the material to outside of the inventory environment. Fine. So first we have to create the movement request by selecting the movement request type as a issue. We'll go and see that. Go to navigator. So under warehouse operations, click on inventory management. Go to task list. and here is the task called as manage movement request. Click on the task and click on create. So system is generating the movement request number. If you want to change, you can change. And you can select the transaction type here, but not mandatory. If you select here whatever how many lines you are going to create, for all the lines system will default the same transaction type. So we tested movement request transfer. Now we are going to test movement request issue. It's not mandatory how to select this level itself. You can select lines level. Click on add line. So which item we are going to issue from inventory. So we have items names, the item numbers we created, which starts with the ERP, right? We are selecting the first one, 1001. Okay, and select transaction type as movement request issue. If it is a transfer, okay, you can have source and destination sub inventories, source inventory and destination sub inventories. But if you go with issue, it's all about from which inventory you are issuing. You can specify the, we cannot specify destination inventory. Reason is from inventory we are issuing the material. So required date, by which date we have to issue the material. We are raising the request, we have to specify all this information. Requested quantity, maybe 3 quantity we want to issue. From which sub inventory we are going to issue. So from MacBook sub inventory, I think we don't have much quantity within the MacBook. We'll go with the iPhone. Okay, and provide destination account. So to track this transfer, like you may maintain the different accounts. So you are issuing the material to, for what purpose, which departments. If you want to track detail level, you can maintain the accounts. So if you are issuing the material to projects, okay, for that we have a separate miscellaneous issue also. So instead of using that, if you want to track just with account, okay, you don't want to transfer the details, just you want to maintain within the inventory only, you can specify the relevant account here. In case of miscellaneous issue, what we do is, so the GL account we select, okay, from which account the balances need to be reduced, we'll select. But here, so these issues should impact which account, it should hit to which GL account, as we are issuing the material by using this movement request issue, we have to select the account. So better what you can do is to click on search, it will display all existing code combinations. You can pick any one of the account for testing purpose. Reality will select appropriate account where we are going to issue, what purpose we are going to issue the material, the relevant account you can select. That's how system will update the balances with that account. So that you can click on submit. Say okay. Done. We created movement request to issue the material. We're done with this. Now we have to run movement request pick slip report, which will create the some instruction or allocations for the same request what we created. Go to ESS job page. Navigation is from the navigator, under tools we have a task called as scheduled process. Click on schedule process. It will take us to ESS job page. ESS stands for enterprise scheduler service, which is equal to EBS SRS window. Click on schedule new process, search for movement request, search, Okay, print movement request pick slip report. So what it will do, it will release movement request lines. We created movement request to issue the material, not to transfer. Okay, transfer means within the inventory organization to issue the material. So as a part of movement request issue, we created one line. Within that line, the source inventory also we specified. The same system will be addressing, okay, as a allocation within this report output, or else if you are not going to select source in which inventory sub inventory item is available to issue, so that system will be generating the instruction which we may follow as a recommendation. System will display accordingly. You can select the right inventory sub inventory at the time of pick confirmation. Fine, click on OK. Select our inventory organization, dollars inventory, and here specify release approved lines. By default, we have auto approvals for this movement request. So if you go and verify, you could see the status as it's approved. So select status as approved. That means the movement requests which are approved, those need to be released, those lines need to be released, and it has to generate the report for the same information. Say submit. So now we can go and check report output.
Is it just printing the pick slip report, or does it do any transactions?
See, what it will do is, at the time of issue, we selected, we want to issue the material from which is sub inventory. We selected, right? Since you selected, system will display the same. If you don't select, source sub inventory, if you specify if you want to issue 3 quantity of the material, system will this report. This is a process as well as report. It has 2 functions. One is it will do the material allocation. The 3 we want to issue from which sub inventory we have to issue based on the stock availability, it will suggest. If you don't select, already we selected, that is the reason it will show as it is as allocation. That's all.
So is it the same process that when we are doing the pick release of sales order?
Yes, but it is not sales order. We know this movement request alert, same, similar.
Got you.
Yep.
Thank you.
With respect to this process. Fine. You can just click on this report, scroll little down. Here you can see the output file. You can click on this default name. Click on OK. So here you could see the pick status is completed. And we are going to, this is a source sub inventory. So no, it's a different one. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. So how many items? 3 items. The source sub inventory is iPhone sub inventory, requester name, and all the details. This is the destination account which we specified. So MacBook, all the details system is showing, and the status pick status is open. Okay, it is the picking is not happened. This report, the movement request pick slip report is showing based on our selection. If you don't select source sub inventory, it will suggest the 3 can be issued from which sub inventory based on the availability it will display, but in our case we selected. That is the reason whatever we selected system is showing. Otherwise system will just, it will create the instruction from which inventory you can pick, and you can confirm the picking to issue the material out from inventory. So this is what system created pick slip. You can copy this pick slip so that we can go and search for confirmation purpose. So you can make a note of this pick slip. Fine, we're done with this. Now what is the next step? Okay, we submitted movement request pick slip, which is showing the details as we selected. If you don't select source sub inventory, it will suggest. Okay, final, you can take the final decision how you want to confirm that picking. Okay, now we have to confirm the pick slip. To confirm the pick slip, go to inventory management. Go to inventory management. So here all the inventory tasks are classified, right? Just click on task list. All the inventory tasks are classified as a inventory related transaction, counting related transaction, shipping and picking and receipt related. Now here for picking, you can go with this classification task list. Here you can perform. If not, from here, as a part of inventory also we have the task called as confirm pick slip. If not that, from here also directly you can navigate. Okay, system is showing there is one open pick. Okay, one picking is open because not yet confirmed. You can see based on this color, which is representing in the green color, and here we have a blue and green. The green represents the pickings which are open, which need to be confirmed. Okay, so you can click on this, it will navigate us to that same page. Just click on that. So it is showing the same. Now to perform the pick confirmation, you can click on the pick slip number. Enable confirm. Requested quantity. Okay, so and so department is requested us to issue the material. How much quantity they requested? 3 quantity. So we are going to pick and issue 3 quantity only as per their request. Okay, so this is source sub inventory which we selected over there. Otherwise you can select different source sub inventory also. Here you can change it. Finally you can take at the time of pick confirmation, you can take decision and you can change. If not from iPhone sub inventory, maybe MacBook sub inventory, you can just pick and you can confirm this. Here go to drop down and say confirm and close. Done. Okay, now system is showing this is in blue color. It represents confirmed. Okay, the picks confirmed today. Go to on hand quantity, manage item quantities, click on search. So here within this, so MacBook sub inventory, we have to the iPhone, just we should that. Of course, before we test this, we didn't verify the quantity, so that we cannot analyze that. We'll go and see the transaction. Review completed transactions. So the transactions you may track with a today's date, or directly you can search with a date range. And here you can find out. Just we performed with the 3 quantity, right? This is the one. So from this iPhone sub inventory, what we did, we issued. Here you can see the transaction type, movement request issue. Okay, movement request issue. We issued 3 quantity is reduced from iPhone sub inventory. So this is how we can perform the movement request issue. We tested within the movement request requisition movement request. We have 2 transaction types. One is movement request transfer, where we can transfer the material from one sub inventory to another sub inventory. From specific sub inventory, if we want to issue the material directly to specific department or outside of the inventory, we can use the movement request issue, but process we follow the same. It's all about raising the request and running the report and verifying the allocations, how system is recommending based on the stock availability, and confirming the same. That's how system will update. Done. Now we just 1 second. Miscellaneous issue, sub-inventory transfer also tested. Requisition, movement requests. What are the two options we have within that we tested? Now we'll go and test inter-organization transfers. Okay, inter-organization transfers. It's all about moving the material from one inventory to another inventory organization. Okay, within the sub-inventory we can transfer the materials between the inventory or sub-inventories which are within the inventory organization. When you talk about inventory organization, we'll be transferring the material between the inventory organizations. When you say within the inventory organizations, again within the inventory organizations we'll have a sub-inventories, but the transaction would be inventory level will do, but that will reflect to specific sub-inventory which are part of those two different inventory organizations. We'll see this. Okay, inventory organization.
Lakshman, one question in the previous
Please,
movement request.
you can
Can
go
I?
directly with the question.
So we have not because I did not see any field to select the serial number since the items might not be serialized control.
We didn't implement it. If you implement, you can enable that checkbox. When you are performing, it will ask include serial number. Then below it will add one more field called as serial number selection.
Got you. During pick confirmation?
Anytime we didn't implement. Still we have those concepts pending. So once
Okay, sure.
wherever it is applicable, everywhere system you will be able to apply that numbering. Okay, so far we didn't implement, so still those concepts are pending, right? So we are just working on the basic transactions. Yep, once we implement those, you can see. Yep, once we create, just once again we'll go back to that window if you want to see that. No issues. Fine. So inter-organization transfers. So now we have an inventory organization, that is Dallas inventory organization. We'll go and create one more inventory. Say we'll create Austin inventory organization. So we have already Dallas inventory organization. We'll go and create one more inventory organization called as Austin inventory organization. So when we talk about inventory, it's a mandatory every inventory should have sub-inventory to perform the transaction. Otherwise you cannot do this miscellaneous transactions, or you cannot receive the material into inventory organization. That is the reason sub-inventory is mandatory. Already we have two sub-inventories in the Dallas inventory organization. Now we'll go and create Austin inventory organization, one more inventory organization. For that we have to create the sub-inventory. We'll create one sub-inventory. And when you create the inventory organization, we know we have to specify the location for inventory organization. We'll create the location. Let me write here otherwise. Okay. So already we have one inventory organization, and the inventory related all the required setups we done, and we perform some transactions also. That means with the complete definition we have one inventory organization, that is Dallas inventory organization. We'll go and create one more inventory organization to execute this inventory inter-organization transfers. Fine. So to test that, what we'll do is first we'll create the location. Okay, create inventory location for Austin inventory. Okay, first we'll create the location for this new inventory organization, or else you can use any other location which is already exist, which we created for business unit or other inventory. Okay, there won't be an issue. Any location you can use. Since we are going to create with a different location city, we are going to create the location also by addressing the same city. So after location is ready, we can create the inventory organization. We can select the same location. So create inventory organization. This would be second inventory organization as per our setups. So we'll name it as Austin inventory organization. So when you create any inventory organization, it may not be mandatory to set up receiving parameters, since we are not receiving the material by following that requisition, PO and receipt creation and all, we are not going to perform. The receiving parameters not mandatory in this case, but going forward we may use the same inventory organization to test different transactions based on the scenarios. For that reason, let's provide inventory parameters also to this inventory organization. Since we are creating inventory organization, let's try to complete the basic setups which are associated with the any inventory organization. Okay, but to test inter-organization transfers, this setup is not mandatory, but to keep that inventory organization with complete definition of inventory setups, we have to set up receiving parameters. Say configure receiving parameters. It's just simple setup. You can do it, or else if you are going to use this inventory organization only for inter-organization transfers, you can ignore it. But since we are creating inventory organization, the associated setups we are trying to perform. And when you create Austin inventory organization, so it's a mandatory you have to create at least one sub inventory. That may be there, may not be there as per business, but as per system, if you want to receive the material into any inventory organization, sub inventory is mandatory. If they don't have real inventory, at least real sub inventory, at least you have to create the dummy definition of sub inventory within inventory organization. So create sub inventory. Okay, create one or two sub inventories. One would be enough to test this scenario. So after that, what we have to do is, so we have item called as ERP 1001. We have this item. Now if you are going to transfer the item, this item is available within the dollars inventory. How this item is available? We created item in the item master. Okay, item master. Item master. Within this item master, we created this item. Okay, within the item master inventory, we created item. This item we assign, right? This item we assign to dollars inventory. Now if you want to transfer this item ERP 1001 item to Austin inventory, what we have to do is, the same item you have to assign to dollars inventory organization. First you have to assign that item, then only the item related quantities you can transfer from dollars to Austin. And before creating the item, and before we assign this ERP 1001 item to dollars inventory organization, what we did, the sequence. Before that step, we created item and we assigned. Before creating and assigning the item, what setup we completed? Anyone? Anyone please? As a part of setups, we created item.
Giving the access to new inventory org.
Where?
No, we create item class.
Yeah, item class we created. That point is very important now to understand. So we created first item class. Within the item class, what we did related to that inventory organization, we given the item people, right? We given the permissions. We selected ERP tree user, and for this user can have access to create the items that item master organization we selected. Okay, item master organization we selected. So item master inventory we selected. The item class level we selected. Along with this, what else we did? Anyone? Here this point is very important. Item class we created. How to create item class we know very well. We created, and within the item class level, under security we selected who can have access to this item class. We selected our user as ERP tree, and we selected item master inventory. Okay, ERP tree, item master inventory we selected. What else we did at item class level related to security?
Giving the access like update.
Yes, all the privileges we given for this ERP tree user for this item master inventory organization, which actions can be performed. Yes, we selected all those privileges we given as actions. What else we did? What else we did?
Give a template.
Sorry?
Template. Give template.
No. I'm talking about security related. Because that point is very important. I can discuss directly with you, but I'm trying to see whether you noticed and focused or not.
You're asking at the item class level.
Yeah, we did many, but I'm looking for the point here. Item, by using this item master inventory organization, item master inventory, or say item master org, simply let's call it as IMO, item master organization level. With this user from this item master organization can create the items by using the item class we specified. Along with that, what we did is, once you create the item by using this item class within this item master organization, that items we want to assign to which actual inventory, that actual inventory also we added within the item class level, right? Dollars inventory organization also we added, right?
Yes.
If you add here, then only with the help of this item class you'll create the item. You'll create the item. That item, the item what you are creating by using the item class, that item can be assigned to the any inventory which is part of the item class only. Now if you are going to assign this ERP tree 1001 item to Austin inventory organization, what we have to perform? What we have to do, you think?
We will add Austin organization to the item class.
Yeah, that is important point. We should do it. We should do it. So without including this Austin inventory organization within the item class, by using that item class, what are the items you are creating, those you cannot assign to the Austin inventory organization. This is a very important point we have to understand. So from any item, if you are going to assign to any inventory organization, first of all, that inventory organization is part of that item class. From which item class the item is created or not, we have to check. Clear, or any questions here?
Is there any process to submit this association
See,
mass?
very simple. Like it's all about how which organization required access to the items which will be created from which item class and all. It's all about decision and all. It's not like for everything this definition should be created. So it's a completely manual process.
Okay.
Okay, it's a manual process. How they need, accordingly they'll do these assignments and do associations. Fine. So
data migration, or what we call FBDI, we cannot use this here.
See, we have for item creation, but this class and these are the different activities, right? Item class definition, organization definition, giving permissions for the people and to specific inventory organizations, master inventory or actual inventories, and associations, totally different. Okay, it is, we cannot do with a single step where we can set up everything in the sheet and all. We don't have such kind of option. Okay, based on the requirement only they will be setting. For item definition, we have seen how you can create and all. This rest you have to manage through manual process based on the user requirements. Fine. Okay, hope this is clear to everyone. Now we'll see, once we are ready with all these, we can say our inventory organization is ready. When inventory organization is ready, we have to assign the item to new inventory organization. If you assign the item to new inventory, directly you cannot assign the item to new inventory organization. So this item is created by using which item class we have to verify. Okay, so and so item class. By using so and so item class, the item is created. If you go and query the item, you can see the item is created by using which item class. In the record itself you can find out. So you have to go to that item class. First item class level, you have to give the permissions to this Austin inventory organization, so that once you include this Austin inventory organization in the item class, by using that item class, whatever the items are created, those can be assigned to the new inventory organization. Fine. So we have to do that. So for that, what we have to do, first we have to assign this Austin inventory organization to item class, and we have to give the permissions also. Okay, we have to assign to the same user. For the current user, you have to assign, say assign or fine, let's write it as assign user and inventory organization, new inventory organization. Here in our case, Austin inventory organization. Assign user, that means which user can have access, current user only, user and inventory organization to item class. Or else you can take this point as simply assign new inventory organization to item class. Assign, anyway user also will be selecting, but you no need to write to address this step. Assign new inventory organization to item class. Which inventory organization? Austin. So once you perform this step, then only system will allow you to assign that item to Austin inventory organization. Now it will allow you to assign. So without performing this step, if you try to assign, it won't allow you. What would be the issue also we'll see. Okay, what would be the issue also we'll see. So then after completing this, system will allow us to assign the item to this Austin inventory organization, since that is included within the same item class. Say assign item to new inventory organization. It's nothing but Austin IO inventory organization. Fine. So done. So now two inventory organizations are ready, and for two inventory organization, same item is associated. Since the same item is available in these two inventory organizations, system will allow us to transfer the item from one inventory organization to another inventory organization. And when we are going to do these transfers, how we want to perform these transfers? With a one-step execution, you want to transfer as a direct transfer, or you want to have some intermediate steps as in transit. First you will transfer, again this dollars inventory will initiate these transfers, and again Austin has to take the initiative of receiving the material with the multiple steps. How you want to execute, how the transfer process you want to execute, direct process or as an in transit process. So multiple steps involved. How you want to do these transfers, that you have to declare in the system between this inventory organization. Again you have to declare in the system, you have to specify in the system whether you are going to transfer from Dallas inventory to Austin inventory or Austin inventory to Dallas inventory. These also you have to specify in the system, which we call as a shipping networks in EBS. Okay, but in here the naming convention they given as inter-organization parameters. You have to set up inter-organization parameters. So we have to set up inter-organization parameters. These two organizations within our company, So within this, between these two organization, inventory organization, when we are going to do these sort of transfers, okay, how the process can be executed, that specifications we have to give. What process you are, what kind of execution method you are following, direct transfer or kind of in transit transfer, how you want to do. In case of you are going to receive the material into inventory, how you want to execute, which receipt routing method you want to follow. If it is a destination type is going to be expense, how you want to execute that process, all specifications you have to give. The receipt routing and all will be discussing anyway later when we are working on this receipt creations. So as of now, simple point to understand inter-organization transfer parameters, nothing but what approach you are following to transfer the material from dollars to Austin or Austin to dollars, that you have to specify through inter-organization transfer. From which inventory to which inventory you are going to transfer, how you are transferring, directly or by following some other intermediate steps. Okay, that. So that's what we have to set up in the system. Based on that setup, system will allow you to have access. Fine, done. So that's how just we have to perform all these activities. So now, as of now, our ERP3 user has access to only dollars inventory organization. How our ERP3 user has access to dollars inventory organization? Anyone please? How can we say?
Data access to them?
Sorry?
Data access to them to the Dallas organization.
We assign dollars inventory organization to ERP
18 plus.
user roles which are related to
Data access.
yes.
Data access.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this dollars inventory organization we assign to inventory roles which are already assigned to our current user. So we no need to give the access to our current user to Austin inventory organization just to perform these transfers. Without giving access to Austin inventory organization, based on this inter-organization parameter setup, you will be able to transfer. When you are performing this inter-organization transfer, once you select from as will have access to dollars only. So when you go to that transfer, it will display Austin inventory organization, since we are going to create inter-organization parameters by specifying from this inventory to which inventory organization we can transfer. But after transferring, if you want to verify on-hand quantity availability within the Austin inventory organization, our current user cannot go and verify on-hand quantity. So our current user has access to dollars inventory organization to perform the transactions and to check on-hand quantity availability. If you want to allow our user to verify on-hand quantity availability for Austin inventory organization, not only on-hand quantity availability, any transactions to perform within the system, you can provide the data access for our user to access Austin inventory organization also. But just to perform inter-organization transfer, you don't need to do it. You'll be able to do without giving the permission to Austin inventory organization, since we are going to create inter-organization parameters that will allow us to transfer. After transferring, if you want to check on-hand quantity in Austin inventory organization also, the user require access to Austin inventory organization. For that reason, you may set up data access for this Austin inventory organization also for our user. Say provide data access for user, nothing but to Austin inventory organization to our user with the specific roles. We have very primarily 3 roles, but 3 roles are not mandatory, since we have those as a seeded roles just to understand we assign. Now to have access to Austin inventory organization, you may assign this Austin inventory organization to any one of the role, say inventory manager or warehouse manager or warehouse operator. To any one of the role you can assign, our current user will be able to have access to Austin inventory organization. Fine. So these are the setups you have to complete. The last setup what we are discussing, providing access, not mandatory. If you want to verify on-hand quantity availability in the Austin inventory after performing the inter-organization transfers, then only this access is required. Otherwise, ideally not required to perform. Done. So after completing these setups, what we will do? Okay, these all are setups. After completing the setups to perform this inter-organization transfers, what we'll do. So to perform this inter-organization transfers, first we'll go and check the on-hand quantity availability. How much on-hand quantity is available within our dollars inventory organization and within the specific sub-inventory. First we'll check on-hand availability in dollars inventory organization. Within the dollars, again in specific sub-inventory, when you're transferring you have to specify the sub-inventory also. That is the reason we'll go on to check in the dollars. Is we treat in this process, dollars is source, Austin is destination. So after checking, we can create inter-organization transfers. Okay, create inter-organization transfers. After performing the inter-organization transfers, again we can go and check on-hand quantity, it's updated or not, because we transfer that has to be reduced. Again the same on-hand quantity availability will check within the Austin inventory organization also. The reason we are going to give the access to our user for Austin, because of that reason we'll be able to verify the on-hand quantity within this Austin inventory. Okay, so that's how we'll just verify that. Okay, these are the setups which you have to perform one time. So once those setups are ready, anytime you will be able to transfer the material from dollars to Austin based on these setups. Any questions here to understand these setups or process? Process is nothing. Before we perform it, we'll check how much quantity is available. After performing the inter-organization transfers, whether the same is reflecting in source inventory and destination inventory, will go and verify. That's all. Any questions here to understand this, please? Fine, no questions. We'll go and perform. First we'll create the location for Austin inventory. So let's do it from project. ERP tree implementation project. Search for location. You can search for manage locations. You can go with any one of the tasks. All are same, but available from different offerings with the different paths. Click on go to task icon. Click on create. Fine. So you can provide the location name. The location is going to be Austin. ERP tree Austin inventory location. Address. Any text you can write just to fill out mandatory fields, and provide zip code. So Austin is also Texas. So postal code you can search with a 7, or any you can select. It's not mandatory, right? Any value you can select. So Austin. Say submit. Our location is ready to use for inventory organization. Now we'll go and create the inventory organization. To create the inventory organization, we have a task called as inventory organization, right? Manage inventory organizations. That is a task we have. Search for inventory organizations within the project. Click on search. So same task available from different offerings under different paths. You can click on any one of the tasks. Manage inventory organizations. Click on go to task icon. Click on create.
There is no option to copy organization.
No, we don't have. Fine. Here we can give the name as ERP tree Austin inventory. This is a code. Organization means organization code. That is ERP tree Austin. It should be in uppercase only. So select. There should not be space also. If you want to keep space, go with underscore. So select. This belongs to which business unit? ERP tree US business unit. And once you select business unit, system will default location from business unit to this inventory organization. Okay, it will default, but for our inventory organization, this is not location. We created location, right? That you can select. That is ERP tree Austin inventory location. And select legal entity which is associated with this ledger that you can find. And click on next. Since this is the inventory, actual inventory or say physical inventory, we have to provide all these parameters. Schedule, we created schedule already. ERP tree schedule you can select. And for this inventory organization, which is the item master inventory, so ERP tree item master inventory organization. Rest of all parameters are optional, which are mandatory. Some default values are there. When we are working on the relevant concepts, we'll see. For now, nothing is mandatory for us. Say save and close. So we created our inventory organization. Now we'll go and set up receiving parameters. Almost all the parameter system will take as a default. If you want to change, you may change it. Anyway, search for receiving parameters. Search for receiving parameters. So manage receiving parameters. Click on go to task icon. So by default system is taking ERP tree dollars. Yes, for this dollars only we defined already we completed this receiving parameters. Now if you want to set receiving parameters as per a requirement for Austin inventory, click on change organization. Select Austin inventory organization to set receiving parameters. How you want to route that receiving, etc. Specify here. Search with ERP. It is Austin. Select and say OK and OK. Fine. So Austin. So receipt days exceed action none. So when you are working on the relevant topics, we'll see. For now, just you can go with the basic information. So receipt action, what we want to do and how you are going to route the receipts receiving into this inventory. Say standard receipt. We will be testing direct delivery inspection required, standard receipt. We will discuss all these and we'll be doing, but since these are mandatory fields to set up this, provide this information. When you are receiving the material into this inventory, what are the receipts you create, how you want to generate the numbering, automatic. And if it is automatic, type would be numeric only. What should be the starting receipt number? 1. And if you are going to receive the material, sales returns, RMA, return material authorization. If any customer is going to return because of the sales which your sales department perform, when you are receiving that sort of return material into this inventory organization, what routing method you want to follow, all you can specify here since those are mandatory. Okay, say save and close. Done. Receiving parameters also be completed. Now we'll go and create the sub inventory. Okay, so to use any inventory organization for transaction process, sub inventories are mandatory. So we'll create the sub inventory within Austin inventory organization. Search for sub inventories. Click on manage sub inventories and locators. We are not creating locators. We'll create later when we are working on the locators concept. Click on go to task icon. Now we want to create the sub inventory in which inventory that we have to select. So here system selected reason, just now we completed receiving parameters for this inventory organization. Based on that, system is selecting. If you see different inventory organization, you can click on change organization, you can select, so that system will allow you to create sub inventories in the selected inventory organization. So click on create. You can give the name as Austin sub inventory 1. I'm just writing the name in short because it is not accepting more characters, limited characters. So save and close. Just the basic definition we done. So we have one sub inventory also. Now what we have to do is we have to assign this new inventory organization to item class. Otherwise, within this, by using this item class, whatever the items are created, those items you cannot assign to this new inventory organization. So mandatory how to do it. So without assigning, if you try to assign this item to this new inventory organization, system will give you the message. System won't take you the unit of measurements, and it will says no permissions. You have to associate the item to this inventory organization. That's how you'll just get a message. That's true because no permissions we are giving at item class level. Fine. You can go to item class. So manage item classes. Click on go to task icon. I'll just open the instance in the different tab to verify by using which item class we created our item. We'll check the item we created by using which item class. I guess we created multiple item classes for a testing purpose, right? So we'll go and check it. So go to product information management and find the item, which item we are talking about for assignment. Which item? ERP 1001. Manage items. Search for item. This is created by using item class called as ERP tree computers. Now go to the same item class. ERP tree computers. Just don't click on this name. In the space you can click. Or here you have a select section. You can select this record item class. After selecting, click on edit. It will open this definition, or else directly you can click on the name. Nothing goes wrong, but how to select, I'm just trying to address. Go to security section. Okay, go to security. So only this item class, by using this item class, whatever the items you create, those can be assigned to only $inventory. Anyway, item master we have to give so that this organization can create items. Other than that, the other inventory organization is dollars. So now we have to associate our new inventory organization also to this item class. click on add, select person. Here group means role. Okay, so role level also you can give the permissions. Who has access to so and so role, they all can have access to this item class. Select our user, fine, and select your new inventory organization. Austin inventory organization. Now you have to give the permissions also, right? Select, click on add actions, nothing but permissions, click on search. The specific permissions are all permissions. Okay, specific are all permissions. You just select any one of the record, control A, all will get selected. Otherwise, just in here for entire selection, you can click on this corner. If you click on the corner, all the records, all the search results will get selected. You can use any option like select on record and control A, all will get selected, or else you can click on this area, all privileges, all the actions system will select. The same you can assign to this user for that inventory organization. Say okay. We're done with this. Now we'll be able to assign the item to this inventory organization which is created by using this item class. So here is the item, this item, just find the item. Just now we have seen how to find the item. So this item, same item is available within the ERP item inventory organization. The other one is dollars. Now you have to click on item number, okay, with the reference of item master record. Click on the item number. The item definition will be open, this item master association. Now go to associations. Just click on associations. So assign this item. Okay, assign this item to our new inventory organization. Click on assign. Search for this inventory. Select, say apply, and say done. So this item is created within this item master, and the same is assigned to Dallas inventory and Austin inventory. This is available in these two inventories. Just item definition. Within the Dallas we have quantity also, stock also available, but within the Austin just item assignment without any quantity. Right, done. So we completed this item to new inventory organization. Now we'll go and set up inter-organization parameters. Okay, how you are, between which inventory organizations you are going to transfer, how you are going to transfer. These are 2 points we have to address. From which inventory to which inventory we want to transfer. Again, the transfer, how you want to execute. Directly you want to execute as a direct one-step process, or you want to follow with a different routing. So here initiative will takes place in the source inventory, destination inventory has to take receiving action instead of updating the quantity directly within that inventory. Fine. Search for organization parameters, inter-organization parameters. Search. Click on go to task icon. Click on create. So from and to organizations. So from dollars, we have stock in the dollars only. We'll go with this case from dollars to Austin. Type ERP and tab out, it will filter and fetch the results. Other than that, we have one more only, the same system selected. And if you want to specify additional information, like what is the distance between these and what is the unit of measurement for the item which you transferred, and transfer order required, it's to initiate the sales order process, internal sales order process this is required. But now we are trying to do everything within the inventory. We didn't implement order management and all that, you cannot do. So to execute this, you can go with the, so again here the specifications. If the item destination is inventory, how you want to do. If item destination is expense, how you want to do. And whether you want to do the direct transfers or you want to go with in transit and all. In transit and all is applicable for internal sales orders and all. Since OM is not implemented, what you can do is you can just select this from and to inventory. Now you cannot go with internal sales orders and all, and you can go with the transfer type as direct. You can say okay. The other options now we cannot apply that logics. So when you are ready with those OM setups and all, in that process you can see. So just we created relation, we just made a rule from which inventory to which inventory we want to transfer, how the transfer should work. We selected as a direct transfer. With the one step you can execute that. So now if you want to directly, now we can go and perform the transaction. Otherwise, if you want to give the access to Austin inventory for this current user, where this user can go and verify on hand quantity for Austin also, you can do that. Okay, fine.
So the one we created is shipping networks, right?
Yes, that term you use in EBS, correct?
Okay, okay.
All right. In EBS, the naming conversion they're given as a shipping network. So here shipping network related to what? Interorganization. That is the reason they named it as interorganization parameter. Fine.
So there is a future like expense item also, how
Correct.
to transfer, right? That's one here.
Type. See, when we are receiving, you can specify whether you are going to destination type, you are going to take that into inventory, or you are taking as a expense where it is the receiving. Because when we are receiving something for projects or other reasons, we don't take into inventory, right? We'll specify destination type as expense for other expense related cases. So in that case, how you have to do the routing? If it is inventory type is the destination type is inventory, you want to go with standard receipt routing or inspection required or direct delivery. In case of expense destination, what is the receipt routing method you want to follow? Those specifications you can give over there based on that selection. Yep.
Okay.
So those specifications you can specify. That's all. Fine, here we are going with a direct. If you submit transfer, it will update in the source and destination inventories. Again, the internal sales order and all, we are not ready with the OM and all. When we are working on the OM, we can look into those points. Fine. Now, which is possible, we'll just do it based on the environment which we configured. Done. Now we can go and perform the inter-organization transfers. We'll go and do it. Okay, if you want to have access to Austin inventory organization, we'll set up and we'll see. But now what we can do, this we'll do later after performing the actual transfers. So first we'll go and check on-hand quantity availability within the dollars inventory. Okay, just go to inventory management, right? We'll check the on-hand quantity so that we can understand how much it is updating, how much it is reducing, so that it will be information for us to understand from which sub inventory we can transfer. So manage item quantities, click on search. Within our dollars inventory, we have two sub inventories. In which sub inventory we have stock? Only one sub inventory, that is a MacBook. In MacBook, we have two on hand quantity. Okay, now we can transfer the same from same MacBook inventory, the quantity to dollars Austin inventory. So go to task list, And here we have a task called as create inter-organization transfers. Click on create inter-organization transfers task. So destination organization, we have access to, this user has access to only dollars inventory. If this user has already access to Austin also, here system will enable one more tab called a change organization, so that we'll be able to change, or else by clicking on this name also you can change. But now if you click on the name, it won't route to anything, because this user has access to only one inventory. So we created inter-organization parameters. You created inter-organization parameter by selecting this as a source from inventory, and how many two inventory organizations you define, those you can see from here. We have only one destination inventory. This user doesn't have access to this, but because of inter-organization parameter setup, it is allowing. There we selected type as a direct. The same system is showing here. Now you can go to transaction lines, click on add, which item you want to transfer.
Can we change the type since it is allowing, I think?
No, it won't allow. Based on that, we have to specify. When you select direct, you no need to give all the specifications over there. When you go with the in transit, all the specifications you have to give. Before that, the definition level you have to specify you want to route. In case of in transit, you have to go with the internal sales order. Those all specifications we didn't give. First of all, we don't have inter-organization parameters which are defined between these two by enabling those options, right? Since those are not defined, it won't allow. You go and create one more set by selecting those, then it will become two sets. One is direct, one is in transit. You can pick any one of, it will allow. But as of now, the definition is available only for direct only. If it is already available, you can switch from one to other. First of all, you didn't define. It is not just the value to select here. Based on the definition here, you can select. Fine. Source and destination. Here source sub inventory. In which source sub inventory? Source sub inventory means dollars. In which dollar sub inventory we have stock availability? Only in the MacBook, right? Just now we have seen two quantities available. So we didn't create any locators, and also you cannot find that. Will be finding later. Destination, you want to destination sub inventory already, destination inventory already we given. Within this inventory, to which sub inventory you want to transfer quantity? Only one we have, that you can select. How much quantity is available within our dollars MacBook? Two quantity. Now how much you want to transfer? I want to transfer only one quantity. Two quantities available, I want to transfer only one. So since it's direct, with one click the stock will get updated. Click on submit. Now you can go on the stock availability, you'll be able to find. So here it shows now only one quantity is available. Only one. If you have this user doesn't have access to the Austin, we'll go and provide the access to this user for Austin, so that this user will be able to, from this user will be able to verify the on hand quantity for Austin inventory also. For now, access to only dollars. Just provide data access for Austin inventory from the project or from search. Search for data access for users. Okay, same task, we know this. Click on add. For which user you want to give the permissions? ERP3. Our user is ERP3. And we have 3 roles related to inventory, but not required for us 3 roles. For any one of the role you can give the data access, that would be enough. So I want to give the access to inventory manager. Which access? Inventory organization access. Which inventory? Austin inventory. Submit and close. And now what are the assignment we did? For synchronization purpose, we have to submit the LDAP job, right? We'll go and submit the LDAP job. so that this user will be able to have access to Austin inventory also. Go to schedule process. So just submit LDAP. So click on search. Say OK. Submit and refresh. Just refresh. Let's wait for 2 minutes. It will complete so that it will update the status. Okay, we know very well system will perform the auto synchronization also one side, and the other side as a recommendation. Just we are running this process, but purely we don't need to depend on this request only to update those changes. Now let's assume system already performed the synchronization. Okay, we'll go and verify the access. Go to inventory management. Now if you click on manage item quantities, you can see change organization system is enabled. When system enable change organization, if the user has access to more than one inventory, so you can switch to Austin inventory. All is dummy value. By default system shows all. There is no meaning in that, just that's the default value. Instead of keeping that field blank, it shows like that. By selecting all, you cannot do anything. Select Austin, say OK. Now you can check on hand quantity availability within this Austin. Now go to task list, click on manage item quantities. It's not synchronized properly. That is the reason it is not allowing to select. It is showing value, still it's in the synchronization process. That means Austin, say OK. Still it is defaulting to dollars. We'll wait for some time and we'll check. It will show. Or else let's try to, this user has access, we'll try to change organization from here. Since we have access, here selection is not allowing, but here you can select. That selection also, yeah, now it's allowing. Search. How much quantity you should find within Austin? 1. That's one quantity. It's available through internal InterOrganization transfer. Austin sub-inventory 1, we have 1 quantity. The same you can go and verify, review completed transaction. There also you can see the same transaction. As we perform this transfer, system will show. So that's all about inter-organization transfers. Fine. So that's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow and we'll just continue with the other topics.